Welcome to this lecture on medical devices strategic planning on guiding teams through design stages. This session provides an in-depth exploration of guiding cross-functional teams through advanced development stages of medical devices. Regulatory affairs professionals must navigate complex frameworks across jurisdictions including the FDA, Health Canada, and EU MDR. Our approach emphasizes strategic planning, early engagement with authorities, harmonized documentation, and rigorous design controls. Teams must understand intended use, user needs, risk management, and regulatory pathways. This presentation will equip professionals with tools, strategies, and case examples to lead effective development processes, ensuring compliance and optimizing timelines. Attendees will gain actionable insights into harmonizing design and regulatory efforts while fostering collaboration across R&D, quality, and manufacturing functions. The design planning phase sets the foundation for successful medical device development. Teams begin by defining comprehensive design inputs grounded in user needs, clinical requirements, and intended use. Design controls must comply with FDA 21 CFR 820.30, EU MDR Article 10, and Health Canada regulations. Creating a robust risk management plan aligned with ISO 14971 ensures proactive mitigation of potential hazards. Identifying regulatory pathways for all target markets at this stage allows teams to anticipate submission types, timelines, and compliance requirements. Effective planning fosters cross-functional alignment, ensuring that engineering, regulatory, clinical, and quality teams understand their roles. Documentation created during this phase, including preliminary design control records and risk registers, forms the foundation for traceability and subsequent design verification and validation activities. Strategically executed planning reduces rework, accelerates time to market, and facilitates regulatory approval, highlighting the importance of comprehensive preparation at the outset of development. During the design development phase, teams translate requirements into detailed design outputs. This involves converting user needs and intended use specifications into technical documents, schematics, and prototypes. Design controls must be implemented with systematic verification methods to confirm alignment with inputs. Regular cross-functional design reviews, involving engineering, regulatory, clinical, and quality stakeholders, ensure comprehensive assessment and risk mitigation. Maintaining traceability between design inputs, outputs, and user needs is critical for regulatory compliance and audit readiness. Teams document all reviews, decisions, and deviations to ensure transparency and accountability. Effective execution of design development strengthens team collaboration, mitigates errors, and enhances regulatory submission readiness. This phase also serves as the foundation for subsequent verification, validation, and transfer to manufacturing, emphasizing the importance of rigorous documentation, methodical development processes, and adherence to harmonized regulatory requirements across jurisdictions. Design verification and validation is critical to confirm that the device meets all specifications and intended uses. Verification testing ensures that design outputs meet the requirements defined during planning. Validation confirms that the device fulfills user needs in realistic scenarios, including clinical simulations or pilot studies. Additional testing includes biocompatibility, sterilization, and shelf life studies as required. Region-specific requirements, such as EU common specifications, must be integrated into test plans. Comprehensive documentation of verification and validation activities, along with cross-referencing to design inputs and risk assessments, supports regulatory submissions and inspection readiness. Effective V&V mitigates risks, ensures patient safety, and demonstrates adherence to regulatory expectations. Teams must collaborate closely, ensuring that findings are communicated, addressed, and integrated into design modifications when necessary. By rigorously executing V&V, organizations enhance device quality, compliance, and market readiness, reducing potential delays or nonconformities in submission processes. Design transfer involves moving the developed device from design and prototyping to full-scale manufacturing. Teams must ensure that all design specifications, drawings, and control documentation are accurately communicated to manufacturing and quality teams. Process validation is essential to confirm that production methods consistently produce devices meeting specifications. Quality control measures must be established, including inspection, testing, and process monitoring. Labeling and instructions for use must be finalized in accordance with regulatory requirements for each market, including bilingual labeling for Canada and CE marking considerations for Europe. Successful design transfer minimizes errors, ensures regulatory compliance, and maintains traceability from design inputs through production outputs. Cross-functional communication and thorough documentation are critical to a seamless transition. This phase ensures that the final product adheres to specifications, is safe for users, and is ready for regulatory submissions and market launch. Detailed planning, validation, and training underpin successful transfer and subsequent commercial success. Navigating FDA requirements demands a comprehensive understanding of the quality system regulation, particularly design controls under 21 CFR 820.30. Teams must identify the appropriate regulatory pathway, such as 510(k), de novo, or PMA, based on device risk, novelty, and predicate availability. Device-specific guidance documents provide essential recommendations for documentation, testing, and clinical evidence expectations. Software as a medical device, SaMD, introduces additional compliance elements, requiring adherence to FDA guidance on software validation, cybersecurity, and performance testing. Unique device identification, UDI, implementation ensures traceability and aligns with global regulatory initiatives. Early engagement with FDA through pre-submission meetings, Q-submissions, or guidance consultations facilitates regulatory alignment, reduces uncertainty, and supports efficient product development. Comprehensive documentation, systematic testing, and cross-functional collaboration are central to achieving compliance and market approval. For Health Canada, regulatory compliance begins with understanding the medical device regulations and device classification system. Class 4 devices require rigorous pre-market submission and licensing. MSAP certification ensures alignment with international standards and facilitates inspections. Bilingual labeling in English and French is mandatory, and post-market surveillance activities, including adverse event reporting, are essential for ongoing compliance. Teams must integrate regulatory intelligence and continuously monitor updates to Canadian requirements. Harmonization with FDA and EU expectations, when possible, reduces redundancy, streamlines documentation, and ensures consistent quality and risk management across regions. Detailed planning, structured documentation, and early communication with Health Canada accelerate approval processes and support safe, effective product launch. Compliance with the EU MDR requires detailed technical documentation, clinical evaluation reports, and adherence to CE marking procedures. Notified body selection and engagement are critical for conformity assessment. Clinical evaluation must follow MEDIV 2.7/1 Rev 4 guidance, with evidence supporting safety and performance for all intended uses. Post-market clinical follow-up, PMCF, ensures ongoing assessment of device performance. Teams must understand economic operator responsibilities, including manufacturers, authorized representatives, importers, and distributors. Harmonized documentation facilitates regulatory submissions across jurisdictions, reduces review cycles, and ensures patient safety and market readiness. Cross-functional collaboration, including regulatory, clinical, and quality teams, is essential to meet EU MDR expectations efficiently. This case scenario illustrates the challenges of guiding a team through complex design stages for an implantable continuous glucose monitoring device. The device integrates a sensor, wireless communication, smartphone applications, and cloud-based analytics. Regulatory requirements span FDA, Health Canada, and EU MDR, each with distinct classification, submission, and validation expectations. Teams must coordinate clinical trials, software validation, biocompatibility testing, and post-market follow-up strategies. Early strategic planning, harmonized documentation, cross-functional collaboration, and regulatory intelligence monitoring are essential. Design history files, risk management documentation, and verification and validation reports must be maintained to satisfy all jurisdictions. Effective guidance ensures alignment of technical development with regulatory compliance, optimizing efficiency, and reducing costly redesigns while achieving safe and effective product deployment. Managing regulatory challenges for complex devices requires proactive solutions. Teams must reconcile differences in device classification, pre-market submission expectations, software validation requirements, clinical study designs, and post-market obligations across FDA, Health Canada, and EU MDR. Solutions include early engagement with regulatory authorities, harmonized design history and risk management files, and designing clinical studies to meet the most stringent requirements. Modular labeling and instructions for use facilitate compliance in multiple jurisdictions. By applying these strategies, teams can navigate diverse regulatory landscapes efficiently, minimize redundancy, and maintain high-quality, compliant development processes that accelerate time to market. A harmonized regulatory strategy enables teams to efficiently manage compliance across multiple jurisdictions. By identifying commonalities in requirements and prioritizing the most stringent elements, teams can create a single cohesive strategy that satisfies FDA, Health Canada, and EU MDR expectations simultaneously. This approach minimizes duplication of effort, ensures consistency in documentation, and enhances regulatory readiness. It requires thorough analysis of differing submission types, clinical evidence requirements, and labeling standards. Cross-functional collaboration is critical. Regulatory, clinical, quality, and manufacturing teams must align to implement harmonized processes. Regular updates to the strategy are necessary as regulatory guidance evolves, including emerging standards for software, cybersecurity, and post-market surveillance. Ultimately, a harmonized strategy reduces time to market, mitigates risk, and ensures consistent quality, making it a cornerstone of effective medical device development. A unified design history file, DHF, ensures that all regulatory requirements are met in a centralized, well-organized repository. This includes linking design inputs, design outputs, verification, validation, and risk management activities. Maintaining traceability throughout development allows teams to demonstrate compliance and respond efficiently to regulatory inquiries or inspections. The DHF should be structured to accommodate FDA, Health Canada, and EU MDR documentation requirements, including design control records, risk management files, clinical evidence, and labeling drafts. Cross-functional teams must update and review the DHF continuously, ensuring accuracy, completeness, and regulatory alignment. A well-maintained DHF enhances knowledge retention, reduces redundancy, and facilitates future product iterations. It is also instrumental in preparing for audits and inspections, demonstrating robust quality systems and adherence to international standards. Ultimately, a unified DHF is a vital tool for regulatory readiness, project efficiency, and risk mitigation in medical device development. Designing clinical studies across multiple regions requires meticulous planning to satisfy varying regulatory requirements while maintaining scientific rigor. Teams must consider sample size, inclusion and exclusion criteria, endpoints, statistical methods, and monitoring protocols to ensure study validity. Ethical and safety considerations differ by region. Protocols must align with local institutional review board, IRB, or Research Ethics Board, REB, requirements. Documentation of study design, data collection, adverse events, and results must be comprehensive and harmonized for use in multiple regulatory submissions. Cross-functional coordination between clinical, regulatory, and quality teams ensures that all necessary data is captured accurately. Additionally, regulatory engagement prior to study initiation, such as pre-submission meetings with FDA or consultations with notified bodies, helps clarify expectations and reduces rework. A harmonized multi-regional approach optimizes resource utilization, minimizes redundancy, and enhances the likelihood of timely regulatory approvals across markets. Effective risk management is essential to ensure device safety, regulatory compliance, and project success. Applying ISO 14971 principles across FDA, Health Canada, and EU MDR jurisdictions allows teams to identify hazards, estimate risks, and implement mitigation strategies. Risk assessments must encompass design, manufacturing, clinical, and post-market considerations. Teams should document risk controls, verification of effectiveness, and residual risks in a structured, traceable manner. Cross-functional collaboration ensures that risk management is integrated throughout the product lifecycle, from planning to production and post-market activities. Early identification of risks enables proactive mitigation, reducing potential delays, recalls, or regulatory noncompliance. Regular review and updates of risk files, aligned with harmonized documentation standards, support inspection readiness and continuous improvement. A robust, regionally harmonized risk management process safeguards patients, enhances product reliability, and strengthens regulatory submissions. Modular labeling strategies allow teams to create a flexible system that satisfies multiple regulatory jurisdictions while minimizing redundant documentation. Labels must comply with region-specific requirements, including language, symbols, warnings, and regulatory statements. Instructions for use, IFU, should reflect regional variations in intended use, safety instructions, and clinical guidance. Modular templates simplify updates, revisions, and translations, enabling rapid adaptation to changes in regulations or product modifications. Cross-functional coordination between regulatory, quality, clinical, and labeling teams ensures that content is accurate, consistent, and compliant. This approach streamlines submission preparation, inspection readiness, and post-market updates, ultimately supporting faster time-to-market and regulatory compliance. Careful planning and harmonization of labeling strategies enhance efficiency, reduce errors, and ensure patient safety across global markets. A Gantt chart is a visual project management tool that illustrates the timeline, milestones, and dependencies for medical device development. It includes phases such as design planning, design development, verification and validation, clinical studies, regulatory submissions, and approvals. Key regulatory milestones, such as FDA PMA submission, Health Canada licensing, and EU MDR CE marking, are highlighted to ensure all teams are aware of deadlines and interdependencies. The Gantt chart supports cross-functional collaboration by providing a shared visual reference, allowing stakeholders to track progress, identify potential bottlenecks, and allocate resources effectively. Regular updates to the chart enhance communication, facilitate proactive risk management, and support timely decision-making. By integrating regulatory and development milestones, teams can harmonize efforts, optimize schedules, and maintain alignment with strategic objectives across regions. Engaging regulatory authorities early in the development process is critical to reducing uncertainties, clarifying requirements, and optimizing submission outcomes. Pre-submission meetings with the FDA, Health Canada, or EU notified bodies provide an opportunity to discuss device classification, study designs, and potential regulatory pathways. Addressing questions, concerns, and potential gaps proactively allows teams to refine design, documentation, and risk management strategies prior to formal submission. Feedback received from these engagements should be documented, disseminated to cross-functional teams, and integrated into project plans. Early engagement fosters transparency, strengthens relationships with regulators, and reduces the likelihood of delays or non-approvals, ensuring smoother progression from development to market launch. Harmonized documentation processes involve creating standardized templates, centralized repositories, and integrated systems for all design, risk, and clinical records. Consistency across jurisdictions reduces duplication, enhances quality, and ensures regulatory compliance. Version control, structured storage, and clear assignment of responsibilities are critical for maintaining up-to-date, accurate documentation. These processes facilitate audits, inspections, and submissions, allowing regulatory teams to quickly locate evidence, respond to queries, and demonstrate adherence to requirements. Cross-functional collaboration ensures that all teams contribute to documentation and maintain alignment, improving efficiency and supporting compliance across global markets. Effective cross-functional team management ensures that all stakeholders, including engineering, quality, regulatory, and clinical teams, work cohesively towards development goals. Clear definition of roles and responsibilities prevents gaps, overlaps, or miscommunication. Regular design reviews, with active participation from regulatory experts, ensure that design outputs meet all compliance requirements and internal quality standards. Transparent communication channels, documented action items, and follow-ups maintain alignment, facilitate decision-making, and accelerate progress. Monitoring team performance, identifying risks, and resolving conflicts proactively further enhance project efficiency. Strong team management is a critical enabler for successful, compliant, and timely medical device development across multiple jurisdictions. Guiding teams through design stages requires a strategic, harmonized, and collaborative approach. Comprehensive planning, early regulatory engagement, and integration of FDA, Health Canada, and EU MDR requirements enable efficient device development. Harmonized documentation, unified design history files, and modular labeling strategies streamline submissions and inspections. Cross-functional team management fosters alignment, enhances communication, and supports risk mitigation. By implementing these best practices, organizations can optimize development processes, ensure regulatory compliance, maintain quality and safety, and accelerate time to market. The integration of strategic planning, harmonized processes, and effective team leadership forms the foundation for successful medical device development and regulatory success.